Hello YouTube, this is Metaljedipirate and we are at Rough Trade and we are here to do a avatar Q&A and signing, so let's see what happens, shall we?
I'm Sophie Kay, by the way. I'm going to be hosting this Q&A today, and the goal today is I want you to be able to ask as many questions as I do, because I know you guys are like the die-hard fans that are here tonight. So if you've got a question, I'm looking at you guys that are like sat in the front, especially in t-shirts, you're like, I'm writing notes. What band is it? Very good, very good. We'll try that with the band here, see how that goes down. One thing I've learned hanging out with them is that normally I get away with it because I interview American bands, so I can always be a bit quicker than them. But these guys, I'm like, was that a joke? That was so dry. Anyway, the album was absolutely amazing. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be asking questions about what they've got coming up because, let's face it, this is one of the most exciting bands in the world of metal. So put your hands together. Again, because they're here, it's Avatar.
Thank you. Hi.
That was a nice welcome, wasn't it?
Tjena.
So,
This guy who organized signing was thinking like, this is gonna save the bottom line for this month. So, you know, the whole store was plastered with posters and our CD was everywhere, and he sold, well, one, I guess. And we said that no one came. So, no, this is nice. This is good. Thank you so much for being here.
how does it feel to finally have everyone hearing it?
Good.
Good.
Really good.
Are there any points, like, do you get a bit anxious playing it for people for the first time, or do you just like, we've got this?
Yeah, I think one thing we have done mentally for the last bunch of years, I think it started when me and John, we were in Paris together doing press for when we were putting out Feathers and Flesh. And because that was, you know, it was an owl, an eagle, a wolf, a fable, a book, and a bit, you know, could have been music from The Elder by Kiss. We don't know, but what we figured out, the artists, we have no idea what it's, you decide,
Every great band has made something not so great.
Except for us.
We made a lot of stuff not so great.
But the secret is to not release it. So we kind of talked about like, now that it's all been recorded and mixed and we're kind of done with it, wonder what people are gonna think. And we talked about it and I think really came to terms with that we are very certain every time that this was exactly what we wanted to do. Like, we are the only ones who actually have to live with this album for the rest of our lives. Jay, the producer, he can blame us and move on and stuff, but we're stuck with it. So we have to make sure that if everybody boos us off the stage and we have to go home again, at least we did something that we believed in and we enjoyed.
Now we're going to be getting to some of your questions in a matter of moments, but something I did want to ask you about is the world, how do I put this? Basically, the world of alternative music, to be challenging, to be something that is rock and roll, heavy metal, has become almost quite right-wing with a load of bands, and that's how people create the offensive challenge. And I feel like you do the complete opposite, and yet have more, depth, balls, like you're more out there, and you don't have to do those things. Do you have an opinion on that?
Has rock and roll become right-wing?
Oh yeah, in parts. I get what you mean,
People
absolutely.
saying things that are offensive.
I get what you mean. The thing is that most of the time, like we're quite political people, but I was never necessarily the main focus of what we do as a band. Okay, whatever we feel is important, of course, spills into how any subject is approached. But it wasn't necessarily, we don't really go into detail of what we would vote or not vote for or stuff like that so much. That being said, that's kind of the point of it. Like Avatar, we want to be be so open and welcoming as possible. I don't think anyone could accuse us of being very conservative people, but somehow we need the table to be very big with a lot of chairs around it to collectively move forward with ideas. So we're open to that, and it's Avatar is about many things, and again, anyone can mosh no matter what channel you get your news from or whatever.
The band that got me into playing metal was Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Like when I first heard them, I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? I need to learn how to play this. But then as well, like I grew up listening to Beatles and Queen and bands like that, because that's what my dad was listening to. So they also made a big impact on me for doing this as well.
I think The Haunted is one band that inspired all of us, but it's one of my absolute favorites. Very underrated band from Gothenburg, so check them out if you haven't. So that's probably my band.
Yeah, I started like Jonas with Dad's Beatles records were a huge deal, and getting selling your soul to heavy metal for real must have started for me with Halloween. But I think really being triggered to I want to do this for myself, like in that whole thing, is The Haunted is very high on that list.
Roxette was a big album that I played a lot when I was a kid, and that made me very interested into like the fact that you could record stuff and make them play back again, like drums and stuff. And Michael Jackson, and then I became a metalhead, and I started out with Metallica, and I gotta give those bands and artists the credit.
For me, thanks to my dad, I mean, he's old school. Like he showed me Judas Priest, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, Van Halen, AC/DC, the list goes on, Thin Lizzy. And the earliest memory I have was when he was like, listen to this song, it sounds like a motorcycle. And he played me Hot for Teacher with Van Halen. And I remember like, oh my God, like, running around in the living room like, oh my God, it sounds like a motorcycle. And it was so cool. And Van Halen, I mean, I grew up on all that stuff. And of course later in my teenage years, I got more into metal, In Flames, The Haunted, and
So we have just come out of the Avatar meet and greet, QA and signing session, and I would say that was rather a lot of fun, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Also, fun note, one of the guitarists of Avatar follows my channel, as far as I know. Whoop whoop! That's fucking awesome. So if you're watching this, cheers buddy. We love you guys, and we'll probably see you in Southampton next week.
We'll be seeing them in Southampton next week, not probably.
Yeah, that's very true, we will be. I'm just excited, that's fucking awesome. See you guys soon. Bye bye.